Good day, folks. Brian Bridges, preacher on Pursuit this morning. I want to read some interesting statements that is made from in the life of Elijah. We find that he came after dealing with Ahab and Jezebel. He found himself at a place under a juniper tree in 1 Kings 19. And in verse number 4, the Bible said when he had went a day's journey in the wilderness, came and sat down under a juniper tree and requested for himself that he might die. Then he made this statement: "It is enough, O Lord. Take away my life. I'm not better than my fathers." I often ask myself the question, and of course we know the context of the verse, what Elijah's dealing with. But could he be dealing with burnout? Now, I understand Elijah, the Bible teaches us, a man of like passions. We know that he was just as a man, just like we are, and so he dealt with the same things that we dealt with. I know that in the prior chapter that he's seen great things of God. Matter of fact, his servant, went 7 times and he's seen nothing. And I put myself in that same place of a lot of times in the ministry, in life, whether it's we put ourselves there, whether others put us there in that place, where we feel like it's enough. And you feel like you have come to the place to where you're burnt out, you're tired, you're wore out. And I'm going to be real honest about something. I don't feel that a lot of people get it. I don't feel like a lot of people understand burnout. I don't think they understand. They may understand it in a job setting. They may understand it even in a family setting. They may understand it in a physical, a mental setting, even an emotional setting. But spiritual burnout, I think, is the worst of them all, because it's almost like you do need help. You do need help. I deal with several people, and I say deal with. Let me back up. That's the wrong word. I speak to a lot of people throughout a year's time. See a lot of people throughout a year's time, and it is a consistent pattern. Burnout. I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to give up. I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to throw in the towel. And even some do. And we all have that potential in us. So how do we deal this morning with burnout? How do we deal with this thing that is plaguing us, if you will? Is there a way? Now, let me preface this with, I know there's a lot of super spiritual people out there that would say, you're a man of faith, you're a pastor, you're a preacher, you should never just discuss things like this. This is you ought to be above all this. I'm going to tell you, friend, and you truly don't know the life of what it is to be a servant, and you truly don't know what the life is to be in the ministry, because burnout is real. And if it can happen to you, it can happen to anyone. And it don't matter what realm of service you're in, it's there, and it's present, and it's difficult. I know many men get burnt out because of the stress of the ministry. They're fighting a lot of battles. They're fighting battles probably they shouldn't have to fight, but they are fighting them. They're trying to raise families in a society that teaches that everything we believe and everything we believe about the Bible, and the Bible's right, by the way. I'm not questioning that at all. The Bible's still right. But the standard that we must uphold, even pressure within the ministry of other ministers, of the brethren. It's so cliquey and so if you're not with this camp or that camp, or if you're not with that group or this group, or if you're not, and I mean, I get openly rebuked for several things, and it don't come from outside. It comes from the brethren that just really ought to mind their own business. I mean, honestly, if you want to put it in perspective, that's really what they need to do, is mind their own business. But they put you under pressure and stress, and you get to a place where you get burnt out. Trying to weigh in on raising a family. When I travel the country, and I go into some of these places, and I hear the ridiculous things that pastors and churches are having to carry. It's pathetic, and we're not going to deal with all that. But we need some spiritual men that will rise up and help carry a burden, and carry. I mean, a man of God has problems. People have problems. We all go through family issues. We all go through emotional, stressful times, financial issues. We all have things that weigh on us about the future. I mean, there are a lot of things there, health-wise. It's pressure. So this is just a little something that I want to give you this morning. And Elijah, and this is a kind of a little series of messages I'm preaching out, and I just want to give you these few little thoughts this morning. This is a long video, so I hope you'll stay tuned to listen to the end. But I often ask myself the question, why did Elijah feel like this? Why did he feel like this? Well, I thought about he was frustrated because of the people that was around him. It was people. He was frustrated with people. He had people that had worldly problems. He had people that had wayward problems. They wouldn't live right. They wouldn't do right. They wouldn't act right. They wouldn't be right. And in a day and a time where righteousness needed to be the mandate, it was not. We're living that same day today. And as pastors, as missionaries, as evangelists, as ministers, you can become frustrated and aggravated and angry, and if we ain't careful, we'll become smart alecks. Some of us already are, but anyway, think about that for a moment. He become frustrated with the people around him. He become fatigued because of the pressure that was on him. He was tired. He needed a break. He needed a vacation. I get tickled at everybody that knows me, and this is kind of a running little joke. But I've had people in the past that be like, well, all you travel, and my goodness, every time you go to a church, you're on a vacation. Friend, you are so far off base, and that is so not the case. If you're on the road in the ministry, I promise you, there are some times that, buddy, it can be truly refreshing and helpful and timely to get away. And to be, but I would say to you that there's a grind in the ministry, staying in a different place every week, the road, just the unfamiliarity of the situation you're in, the feeling of being evaluated all the time. So he was fatigued. I believe Elijah dealt with failure. I mean, I believe that's another thing that brought burnout. He was disappointed in himself, maybe how he reacted, maybe how he responded to something that God was trying to do. And so here it is. I thought about this. I think Elijah forgot some things, and that's how he ended up here. 3 things. I'm done. First of all, he forgot that God was speaking to him. He kept listening to the wrong voices. Number 2, he'd forgotten it was God that was doing the supplying for him. It wasn't Ahab or Jezebel. No matter what they took away, God was going to supply. And he forgot it was God strengthening him. So allow God to speak to you, allow God to supply for you, and allow God to strengthen you, and remember those things, and be careful when it comes to burnout. This is Brian Bridges, Preacher on Pursuit. Love you. Hang in there.